We just got ourselves the most banged out Razor MX350 on Craigslist. Every single piece of plastic on this bike is absolutely broken. It's either bent how it's not supposed to, or it's just completely torn or cracked in some sort of way. The seat is all torn up. The front wheel is very rusted. This bike actually doesn't even turn on, but what's interesting is it does have some sort of upgraded motor on it. But what's really bad is this rear wheel. It's like super bent. Let me just show you. Look at that. Like, I've never seen a bike in such poor condition before. Like, who let a Razor get to this condition? Did they throw it down the stairs multiple times? But the good news is I got it for $20. And we're gonna be bringing this thing back to life today with all the parts that I have already in my garage. He did put some sort of aftermarket taillight on here. I might try to use that. Man, this is really deep. I'm not even sure if I'm going to be using any of this. Let me know if you're familiar with this motor. I've actually never heard of this before. Curry Technology. I also removed the chain tensioner since we're not going to be needing this for how we're setting this bike up. So this brake light, it's not really a brake light, there's just an on-off switch for it to constantly be on. These batteries are completely toast. What I don't understand is the point of upgrading the stock motor without upgrading a controller. Not really sure how much power you would have gotten out of that. We're not going to be using this drum setup. That wasn't even bolted on. You know what? I'm not even gonna bother tearing down the front end since this is pretty much all we're using for this project. When you're removing the foot peg, just be careful that there's a steel ball in there. It might shoot out if you just pull out the peg. It's like a little ball detent. This is what it looks like, so just be careful not to lose that. I ended up cutting off all the excess tabs that we're no longer using all over the frame and the mounts for the body, since we're not gonna be using the stock plastics anymore, just to clean things up a little bit more. And then now I'm gonna scuff it up some more, and then we're gonna wipe it down with some acetone to prep it for paint. And as far as paint for the frame, I decided to go with the Rust-Oleum truck bed coating. This stuff is very durable. It's very scratch resistant. I actually used this on my last Razor go-kart project. It also leaves a nice satin wrinkle finish, almost like it's powder coated, similar to the finish on my Talaria frame. And if you are planning on doing any sort of painting at home, make sure you have a respirator that's designed for it, just to reduce the chances of you inhaling anything toxic. If you are interested in checking out any of the products that we're using for today's project, I'll have everything linked in the description below. Down temporarily. All right, hopefully this jackery is gonna keep this bike in place. I'm gonna be mounting on a slightly larger handlebar. This is actually from my SX500. It's just a little bit wider and better suited for an adult rider. I'm gonna throw on a little pro taper pad right in the middle. I was test fitting the rear hub motor onto the rear axle mounting point, and noticed that the frame was just slightly too wide for me to safely thread on the axle nuts. So I ended up laying the frame down on its side and beating the rear section inward on both sides to get it a little bit more narrow. It now measures out to be about 5 3/4 in between the two mounting points. It was 6 1/4 before. And since we lowered the ride height quite a bit, we're going to be swapping out this rusty kickstand with a brand new one from an E300. Hey, it looks like I'm gonna have to cut some notches here for it to slide all the way back into place. So the game plan is to have all the hub motor wiring routed towards the center of the frame. And then I'm gonna mount two of these brushless controllers leaned over like this, so I can tuck all of the wiring here and have everything enclosed in the factory plastic covers. I actually have a bunch of these generic brushless style controllers from all the Vever and Coonray kits I've installed in my Razors in the past that I've now upgraded the controllers on, such as the Far Driver or the Kelly controller kit from Electro & Co. So I have a bunch of these that are not being used, so I might as well use two of them for this bike. Then I'm planning on having the battery mounted back here since there's plenty of room in front of the rear wheel now. I'm probably just gonna build like a mud guard to protect it, and then I'm gonna have the power cables going into the housing. I'm just waiting on the Matric rear brake adapter so we can wrap up the brake install. I also have to flip the tires on these hub motors since, as you can see, they're rotating backwards at the moment. So we've got a lot to do, but I am waiting on some parts to come in. My target power goal for this bike build is 2,800 watts, which would be 8 times the factory power of an MX350 with a minimum top speed of 30 miles an hour. Another thing that I wanted to mention is I'm actually going to be giving this bike away to one of you guys. I noticed that the last couple months, the growth of this channel has started to ramp up a little bit. It's been a long few years, and I really appreciate the support of my regular viewers. So to give back, I've decided I'm going to be giving away one of my bikes at the end of every month for the rest of the year. Now, this build is going to be a 3-part video series, and all you have to do to enter into the October giveaway is comment below and be subscribed to this channel, and your username will be added to a random generator. And then I will be making an announcement on October 31st to let you guys know who won this bike. If you guys enjoyed today's video or found it helpful in any way, do me a favor and hit that like button. And if you like this kind of content, want to keep up with the dual motor Razor MX350 project, make sure you subscribe to this channel. But this is going to be it for today. Thank you for watching.